name's Lily and you've joined me here on the Beanbag for my very first podcast episode. These are very humble beginnings. I'm sitting in my living room with my two cats, one of them wanting to eat the microphone and the other one crying by the back door because he thinks because I'm sitting here that we're going to go in the backyard. If this is your first time meeting me, I'm already quite chronically online. I post a lot of makeup content on Instagram. I post a lot of food related content on TikTok. I do have a YouTube channel that nobody watches, and I'm about to have a podcast that nobody listens to, but I love it. And unfortunately that means my partner doesn't get a lot of quality time. But because this is our first episode, I do want to just touch base on why I'm here and why you should care about my podcast. I mean, you shouldn't at the end of the day, but like there might be a few reasons why. And we'll also get into the name of the pod because I had a very, very brief brainstorm and I shared it with my friends and all of them said they didn't really understand what I was on about, but we will get into it. You know what? I'm going to talk about the name of the pod first because I was very nervous to name a pod. The kind of content that I consume through my podcasts is like laid back pop culture, chats, references, very like lighthearted things. You could say that someone who is up to date and on trend with topics to do with pop culture has their finger on the pulse. That is a phrase that is used for that, but I did go to my friends and say, what do you think about this potty name? And like, this is where it comes from. And all of my friends said they'd never heard that phrase, having a finger on the pulse. But anyways, I'm still rolling with it. And I kind of like that it's a little bit innuendo-y as well. Like, we're on the bean. I might have people come on my bean. And my finger's on the bean. So, yeah, that's where that came from. But in, more simple terms, it's because I'm sitting on a beanbag. I was thinking to myself, why would anyone care what I have to say about pop culture or want to listen to what I have to say or think about current events in the online world? When I first thought about it, I was like, maybe it's attention. Like, maybe I just love attention. But I was like, no, I don't think it's that. So I kind of really sat with myself and I was like, why do I want to do this podcast? Firstly, because it's fun, but why do I like posting content online and why do I like being one of those voices that does that? And I just think back to my preteen days where like I spent a lot of time inside and online, and I just remember coming home from school and being so excited to go on my computer, just go on probably Tumblr, like Twitter was pretty big back then. YouTube always, I have always been a YouTube watcher. I adore it. And I feel like community is what I feel when I go online. And this is probably going to sound like very lame and like, oh my God, go outdoors, have a life. But I think I felt seen and I found community online as a teen. And that was really important to me. And like, that was really important on how I grew up. I still reminisce to this day about people that have come and gone online that I've watched. For example, I watched this one American girl. I think she lived in the middle of the desert. I don't remember which one in America, but she definitely lived in the desert. She worked at Nordstrom. She would do little vlogs. Like she would always start her videos off by like a little outfit check, and she dressed like really gothic. It wasn't even my style. Like I wasn't even a gothic girl. I wasn't looking to her for inspiration, but I just really enjoyed her little life. And she would do like little vlogs like inside those fit checks, like those OOTDs, if you may. And she stopped posting, and I still think about her videos to this day. Pretty sure her name is Kennedy Dawn and she does photography now. There was also like a brief stint there where she was a bit anti-vax in the pandemic, I think, and so I unfollowed her, but I still reminisce on her little OOTDs in the middle of the desert to go to work at Nordstrom. And I just feel like she probably thinks nobody ever thinks or cares about that, but there's me here in Melbourne, Australia, still thinking about her content and wishing she kept making it, because I think that if there's just one viewer who enjoys my content or one listener who finds comfort and connection and feels seen, or I don't know, just wants to listen to this, I'll do it for that one person, truly, because I have been that one person. I think as well, a big part of why I enjoy podcasts so much is because of my ADHD. Undiagnosed by medical professionals, but diagnosed by my friends and family. I always have something on in the background, always. And in the last couple of years, it's been podcasts, and I just feel like it is wonderful for body doubling and like just getting ready. I need to listen to podcasts. Like I love it. Speaking of creators that I once followed, or like they once made a certain type of content that I miss, there's also another creator here on YouTube, and I think she's a comedian as well, Maxine Olivia. I think she lost her job and she started making a little podcast in her living room, like talking about whatever was going on in her life. Loved it. I tuned the fuck in every single time she uploaded, but I think unfortunately she got a job and now she doesn't make content as much, but you know, can't blame her. That's what happens. That's life. Sometimes you got to get a job. I think that's why I enter every content creating space that I can, because there's just a little girl inside of me. Oh, why do I feel like I'm going to get emotional? I did not expect that. But there's just a little girl inside of me who still logs onto YouTube every day looking for connection and community. That got a little bit rambly. This is going to be a rambly podcast, unfortunately. With the undiagnosed ADHD and all of that, it's probably just how it's going to go. With that being said, let's get into the yes, no's, and maybes of the week, of the fortnight, of I don't know how much I'm going to upload. I haven't figured out that schedule. I just knew I needed to get a beanbag and start filming. My yeses of the week. Let's go. I feel like I'm going to start with the positives. Me and my partner went and watched Wuthering Heights. Someone said, if you go and watch the movie and think of it as a retelling of a tale, not an adaptation of the book, you're going to love it. And one thing you need to know about me is that I'm always a hater first. Unfortunately, I just can't help it. I've talked to many a therapist about this. I think it's just in me. Like, I have to hate something popular before I decide that I enjoy it. And I kind of was thinking of not watching the movie because obviously what's her name? Emerald Fennell. She definitely just fan casted Wuthering Heights. Obviously, we know that Heathcliff is a minority man of some sort. I didn't read the book, so I don't know if he was black. Like, I don't know what he was meant to be, but I know that he was a minority and I think a gypsy boy. I feel really bad saying that word, but I think that's what he was in the book. I did try to read it many years ago, but unfortunately I'm not a gothic girl. I don't enjoy gothic. I don't enjoy gothic. I think that's probably the biggest reason as to why I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it, because we're living in a little bit of a gothic resurgence, and I watched Frankenstein literally like a week ago. I was really late to the party and I didn't enjoy it. I think I felt the same though about Wicked as well, when it's like these retellings that I've seen a billion times. Like, I feel like I just watched Wicked in theaters. So like when I was watching the movies, I was like, okay, it's a tale that I've heard a billion times before. So I expected that I wouldn't enjoy Wuthering Heights simply because of the gothic vibes. It was really good. It was really good. I want to watch it again. It was so entertaining and I was gripped. So I really thought I was going to go in and be a hater, not enjoy the gothic of it all, but it was beautifully filmed. I'm not like a film geek. I don't know much about that stuff, but it was very pleasing to the eye. And I just kept giggling to myself because I was like, I'm watching two Australians like from Queensland, like Margot Robbie of Home and Away and Jacob Elordi of St. Kevin's, Melbourne. I think he went to St Kevin's. I don't know. I think he's from Queensland, but I don't know. I think he moved to Melbourne, went to St Kevin's. I don't really know. Private school boy. Just kept giggling to myself because I was enjoying it so much, and I was like, if someone told me that two little Queenslanders would be starring in this major like production and Charli XCX was making the soundtrack, if you told me that a couple years ago, I probably would have laughed. I mean, I probably would have believed it, but it's just like a little bit crazy to me that that's the situation. And like Charli XCX, like boom clap, she made some bangers. She definitely did. I do recommend, if you're going to watch it, think of it as a retelling, because it was a really good retelling, don't you think? If you're listening to the potty, I have this little dinosaur toy that I accidentally stole from Aldi. I just feel like I need to have something in my hands. And he was unfortunately kidnapped from Aldi because he was the last one of his kind and he didn't have a tag. So I had intentions of purchasing him. I said, like, I need to have him in my house. But when I got to the checkout, there was no tag. I watched Overcompensating, the TV show with Benny and Mary Beth Barone. There's a lot of good actors in that. I literally just put it on one day. I have been watching a lot of TV shows, which is a bit out of the ordinary for me, but I just like wanted to put something on that's funny and lighthearted, because when we think about like the real world events going on, the Jeffrey files and all of that jazz, what's happening in America, I said, I want to put on a show that's going to make me giggle and hoot. And it did that. The comedy is quite jarring at times. There's a lot of like body comedy, like a lot of penises in the show, but it's really good. It's basically about a guy named... I went to call him Benny because that's his name in real life. It's basically just about a guy who is a homosexual and he goes to college and is trying to keep up this straight facade. And he meets this girl and she is trying to be popular. And I think that they both try... They don't use each other because they do end up having a really wonderful friendship, but they are using each other for the popularity, the clout, the straightness of it all. And it's just all the trials and tribulations that come along with that. And it's really funny. And lots of Charli XCX in there as well. I think that's the theme of my yeses this week, is that Charli XCX is the soundtrack to everything in life at the moment that I enjoy. She was in the series as well. She had some iconic lines that I can't stop thinking about. I don't remember what it was, but she said something like, you think I want to be playing boom clap at a college party? That's a horrendous impression of Charli XCX. But fuck, it was so good. And they end the season on a cliffhanger, and I almost cried. I was like dying to know when the next season's going to come out. It is confirmed. I believe there will be a season 2, and I'm just hanging out for it. It's really funny and it's really good. I would definitely recommend it if you're wanting something lighthearted to watch. Next, let's move on to the nose. There's not many artists that I get protective over, but I feel annoyed, and that is people realizing Bad Bunny is a great artist after the Super Bowl. I do feel a little bit protective over Bad Bunny because he was literally Spotify Artist of the Year in 2020. And I think that him and Taylor Swift have been fighting over that title like ever since 2020. I haven't like been a fan from the start, but I fell in love with the album with the heart on it. Let me look it up. I've got a potty. I can't be referencing things so loosely. Un Verano Sin Ti. That came out in 2022. Like, I'd listened to a little bit of like there's the album that he came out with in 2020 where he says like yeah a lot. But Un Verano Sin Ti was my like summer anthem, still is to this day. And he says, he doesn't say his thing in that album is like the little breath sounds that he makes where he goes like, that's like his thing in that album. And I love it. I think that it annoys me because people think that art is not art if it's not in English. I think that's what it comes down to. Everyone who is a Bad Bunny fan pre the halftime show at the Super Bowl, those people need a little kiss on the forehead, myself included. Kiss me on the forehead. Just because something's not in English doesn't mean you can't appreciate it and see and hear its beauty. I think obviously this album that he came out with, Debbie Tirar Más Fotos, in 2025, like obviously that is more about his culture, about his love for Puerto Rico. So I feel like I get it. Like people are like, oh my God, culture is so beautiful. But it's like, it always has been. I don't know. I'm just really salty. It always has been. Bad Bunny has been doing that and being that guy for a really long time. He is a double Pisces, I believe. Let me look up his birth chart. So I know, like, personally, me and him, like, I never want to meet him. Don't meet your idols. I am scared of a double Pisces. I am happy keeping him in, like, on his pedestal. I don't need to know his Pisces on Pisces behavior. 10th of March, 1994. Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, born 10th of March, 1994, known by his stage name Bad Bunny. He is a Pisces sun, a Pisces moon, and a Mercury in Aquarius. I do not want to know that man personally. I'm going to appreciate his art. I'm going to defend him till the end of the world, but I don't want to be his friend. I am a Libra sun with a Taurus moon, with a Capricorn rising, I think. No, I'm a Leo rising. What the hell am I talking about? My partner's a Capricorn rising. I'm a Leo rising, but also in some cases, I can be a Virgo rising, depending on the minute. You know, if you know anything about astrology, Mercury is how you communicate, and his is in Aquarius, so he's probably such a player. Like, we already know that from his music. He is a little bit of a player, but his birth chart just like really brings that to light. To summarize that, no, it's most of the best artists. Do they speak English? And are they from like English speaking countries? No. And I think that annoys me that people had to like watch it. People had to be forced to sit in front of their TV and watch a halftime show to realize that he makes great music. That just so happens to be in Spanish. Those are my yes and no's. We are going to get into the maybes. The maybe category is a really important one to me because I am a hater. And so a lot of things sit in my maybe moments for a really long time. For example, I recently just started listening to Role Model. I know that like he's been doing that. He's been great for a while. But I think because like I only heard of him through Emma Chamberlain dating him, I just was like, oh, if I'm going to like it, I'm going to like it organically. I started listening to him and I was like, oh, this is good. I get it. But he was in my maybes for a really long time. Being late to the party is just something that happens when you're a hater first. Another thing that I was really late to the party about that I regret is that TV series Made. That's like based on the book adaptation. It has Margaret Qualley in it. I think my friend was telling me, it was one of those moments where your friend keeps saying like, you need to watch Made, it's so good. And I watched it like 2 years after it was released and I said, oh my God, has anyone seen Made? It's so good. And everyone was like, yes, girl. And we've been trying to tell you. But I think unfortunately, like watching something when the hype is real is really impossible for a hater at heart. So let's get into the maybes. This first maybe that I am unsure about is because I really, really like it. And that's Somba's new song, Homewrecker. If you don't know, Somba had a little bit of a moment online. I wouldn't say he was being cancelled because I don't think it's like there's worse things to be cancelled for. I don't think it like really was a major cancelable offense. I think it was just a little bit of like an immature blep that was posted online and unfortunately added to his online footprint. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure these like older women went to his show. I want to say they were in their 30s. I could be remembering the story wrong. They went to the show and I think they posted a TikTok and they said his concert was a little bit unwatchable because of how catered it is to youths. For example, I think the biggest thing was he kept being like 6, 7 to kind of get like the audience going, and like the adults were like looking around the room being like, oh my God, this is kind of cringe. Basically, I think he was just being like a bit brain rot on stage, and anyone who wasn't a teenager or a tween found it really cringe. And he got really disheartened by that. He went online and kind of clapped back. It was a little bit of a, I think it was just a little bit of, just a slight lapse in judgment. I think he forgot that he was a celebrity and he can't just be posting in response to people like that. I think he was basically saying like, what are you doing at my show if you're 30? Because I think he knows his audience. They're young, they're youthful, but he makes a banger. He does make a banger, and he gets you with like the chorus hooks. Like the chorus is always slap me down. So unfortunately, I'm really enjoying Homewrecker. I wasn't going to boycott him because like I don't really feel like that's a really cancelable offense. I think it's just an immature thing to say online, and he is young. He is young. He is allowed to be immature, in my opinion. I like really was like, oh, like I wouldn't be upset if I never listened to Somber again. But then he dropped Homewrecker, and it's really good, and I can't stop singing it, and it's stuck in my head. So my maybe is celebrating the new single because it's really good, but a lot of people might frown upon the fact that I, a 27-year-old who is not far from 30, is enjoying Somber, even though he said that he doesn't make music for people like me. Oh, moving on. Oh my gosh, my next maybe I'm feeling quite passionate about, so hopefully I don't ramble on for too long, and that's Instagram Reels. Instagram as a content creator sucks because they have so many rules, so many regulations, so many blah, 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 whatever. Instagram as a consumer, it's scary. I don't know if you guys have delved into Instagram Reels too much, but it's starting to remind me of Reddit almost, like Twitter almost, where it's become really not monetized. It all started a couple of, like I think in the middle of last year, I started getting fetish content on my Instagram Reels. I only post about makeup. I only consume makeup content. Why am I getting fetish content? And I felt guilty about it. I was like, what am I doing to the Instagram algorithm to start getting fetish content? And it was always like really subtle. Like it's like someone like doing their gym routine, like a lot of exhibitionist kind of stuff. And I'm not like, I'm pretty accepting of a kink, like, and of the fet world, like, go for your life. But it just was quite jarring and shocking that I'd be like watching someone try on lipsticks, next slide, porn, basically. It's gotten worse since last year. One of my friends recently started sending random like fetish type reels being like, why is this on my feed? And I was like, oh, finally someone else is experiencing it, because I opened up to my partner. I said, I'm getting fetish content on reels. And she was like, what are you doing to encourage that? Like, clearly you're watching it. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm just scrolling and the fetish content is coming to me. But one of my friends is also in the jump scare fetish content side of Instagram Reels, and that made me feel better because I'm just not alone. If you're listening and you've been getting jump scared by fetish content, I see you, I hear you. I also have a friend who's like really into the memes of it all, and like he said that it's not surprising if like you'll be like scrolling through meme reels and the next one is like someone getting shot in the head. Like, it's giving Twitter. I remember my first time seeing someone being murdered, it was on Twitter, and nobody regulates. Where are the regulators, guys? Like, I know there's a lot to regulate and moderate. Where are you? What are you doing? We don't need to be seeing people shot in the head. Also, the Charlie Kirk incident, that video was online for way too long. I watched it, like I think I sorted out because I have like that little bit of morbid curiosity, and like I've seen someone be shot before because of Twitter. Because obviously like everyone was talking about it for like 48 hours. There was still videos up online of that shooting 48 hours Like, the moderators are slacking. Get it off. Where was I going with that? I also had a video go a little bit viral recently on my Instagram Reels. I didn't want to start posting my what I eat in a day content over there. I just did it because I want to get brand deals. And people only give you brand deals if you're also posting on Instagram. I love my what I eat in a day community, like fat friendly, fat positivity vibes over on TikTok. But on Instagram, people are evil and nobody is moderating the comment section. This was literally a couple days ago, so it's still very fresh in my mind. But the incels unfortunately found a what I eat in a day where I had McDonald's for breakfast. And that's not going well. That's not going well. The comments are ridiculous. I've blocked and reported so many people, but I honestly don't think reporting it is going to make a difference. I told my friends not to bother defending me in the comments or commenting things, because when it comes to incels, you can't say anything right. You just can't. And it's all men, and men ruin everything. I've seen this in other creators. There's one beauty content creator that I follow who is also a little bit plus size. She's the only plus size woman in Australian beauty media. She went viral on one of her videos on the bad men side of TikTok because she said this is my makeup routine for when I want to look hot. And because she's fat, she's not allowed to look hot. She's not. So she got absolutely destroyed from going viral in the incel side of the TikTok world. It happens to the best of us. I think it's a rite of passage as a fat person. Unfortunately, I do believe fat people can feel and look hot. I do believe fat people deserve kindness and compassion. But in the Instagram Reels world, people don't think that. That's where I'm going to leave my maybes. I'm not quite sure how to outro the vibes of this podcast. If there's anything you want me to share my opinions on, please let me know, because I will. Shout out to Maxine Olivia. Hope you start making podcast episodes again. Kennedy Dawn, I think that it's okay that you stay being a photographer, because I think you're anti-vax now, but I really enjoyed your OOTDs. There's a lot of podcasts that brought me here today that I really appreciate, and I don't know if I should shout them out because who am I? But I love the Out of Character pod with Martin and Hamza. I love your I'm Grandmom with PJ and Kirby. I love Emma Chamberlain's podcast is a nice one. She sometimes is a little bit unrelatable because she talks a lot about having boyfriends, and I'm in a lesbian relationship, so can't really relate to that, but I do tune in every now and then. And there's another one that I'm forgetting. Oh, Upstairs Neighbors something with Maya and Dom. I'm obsessed with them. They're one of my favies too. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you join me for more episodes in the future. Bye!